Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network, brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos Tequila, as you know, is brought to you by those who drink it. Now, we're coming to you on the Mike Francesa channel on the Bet Rivers Network on YouTube. And I apologize for keeping everybody waiting after the game. I hung around for the coach, and it seems like he's breaking records waiting. I mean, before he comes out, it's later and later, and I wait because I want to see if there's something I need to see or react to, and he infuriates the heck out of me. Where where is the coach that we saw in his first year, who had a little gleam in his eye, who was daring? He won fans over. He was exciting. The team was. I know Wink's not here, and that blitzing defense is in here, and that swashbuckling defense is in here. But Dable played to win. He said, "You know what? I didn't come here to just play. I didn't come here to just get a little better. I came here to try and win games." And he won games, and he got a team to the playoffs that no one expected, and he won a playoff game, and he won a lot of fans' hearts. And all he has done now, last year and this year, is give that back and give it back and give it back. And he comes out tonight and gives you, well, we were competitive. We did some good things. I see progress. Nonsense. This was a winnable game against a reeling 1-2 Cowboy team, which had been embarrassed, which could not run the football, which could not stop the run. Now, Zim is a good coach. We know that. He was going to get things figured out, but he had to do things that left him vulnerable to get that run stopped. And the Giants didn't take advantage of that. Did the Giants make some plays tonight in the passing game? Yes. Were they, enormous plays? No. Could they get in the end zone? No. But more than that, it's this attitude from Dable that almost like satisfied. Well, I'll look at it. Well, I thought we were more competitive. Yeah, I thought Jones was good. Hey, Jones wasn't good enough. Your job is to win the game. Your job is to drive your team in the fourth quarter. Your job is to get the ball in the end zone. You're not good enough if you don't get the ball in the end zone. And you know what? He underthrew too many balls. He put a lot of balls on the money, but they were usually short and intermediate. The Cowboys did the same thing all night. And then they hit a big play to Lamb. We know Lamb's is a tremendous player. But if you're going to put a safety back there, then don't let him take a terrible angle. Give up a touchdown. But more than anything else, it's just like, we're improving. No, it's about winning. The Cowboys were 1-2. There is no bigger advantage in this league than to play at home on Thursday night. When you are hurting, and the Cowboys were hurting, when you are playing badly, and the Cowboys were almost last in the league running the ball, and they were last in the league stopping the run. They had been embarrassed. They gave 274 yards rushing last week. They gave 190 the week before. They gave chunk plays all over the place. They were getting laughed out of Dallas. They come in here 1-2, and the Giants, who never, ever, ever beat the Cowboys anymore, never sound satisfied when they lose 20-15. They can't get in the end zone. Oh, they did this well. Oh, they did that. Nonsense. It's not good enough. The Cowboys were beatable tonight. This isn't a team that right now looks like a juggernaut. Not only that, at times tonight, Diggs was out. Lawrence was out. Parsons was out. On those last Giant plays, not the ones after. Okay, not the ones after the field goal was missed. And I understand that field goal probably had some guys who laid 5.5 throwing their TV sets out the window. And it had some guys who got 5.5, praising the gods. I understand that. That's wagering in the NFL. You got the guy who's the super field goal kicker, and he hits, he comes up in strides at 51 yarders like you hit your wedge from 70 yards. It's just like, you smooth it. It's hey, you're gonna be there. It's long enough. It wasn't like I didn't put my leg into it. It was almost like he aimed it because 51 is like short for him. He's an incredible, incredible weapon. But he's human. He missed one. And if you took the Giants at 5.5, you got lucky. But it should have been better than that because the Giants had opportunities all night. Now, the one thing that was so glaring tonight and stood out like a neon sign is the Giants couldn't run the ball 2 inches on Dallas. And it was ugly. No matter what they tried, they could not get any separation, couldn't get any, a lot of times Singletary was getting hit before he got to the line of scrimmage. A couple of times he made really bad reads on his runs. He got very lucky he didn't get called for a fumble again, and that would have been another one for third straight game. And it's got to stop. Got to stop because when you get a label in this league of being a fumbler, they come after the ball even harder than they do on guys who don't fumble. So the worst thing is when you get it because then they're in there on every play looking to hit you and get in there and get the ball no matter what. Now, you might pick up a couple extra yards because somebody tried to tackle the ball, but you know what? They're going to get the ball too often for a guy who lets the ball come out. And he was lucky because his elbow didn't get down in time. His knee got down just before the ball. And the ball was moving, but it didn't start forward until his knee was down. He got very lucky there because the ball was spinning. It just didn't start forward out of his arm. And it was the right call, but he was very fortunate because it wasn't his elbow that was down, it was his knee. But they ran the ball against the Dallas team. And I understand the personnel that the Ravens have. And I understand that the Saints had Kamara. But the Giants couldn't run the ball from here to there. And Dallas, which has the worst stable of running backs in the league, although the Giants are close. They ran the ball enough to get the job done. They ran the ball 23 times for 80 yards, which was good enough. And in big spots, good enough. And in the fourth quarter, when the Giants desperately needed a stop, good enough. Now, we know how talented Neighbors is. Right? He gets targeted 15 times tonight because they're all beat up in the secondary. He gets 12 catches. He gets 115 yards. All right? He's been incredibly impressive for a rookie, but that's 2 games when the game was on the line that he didn't hold onto the ball. Now, I know that he took a hit here. That was hard. My problem with that play is if you want to be great, you got to catch that ball. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, and he's a wonderful talent, but if you want to be great, you got to catch that ball. But here's the thing. Lawrence wasn't in the game. Parsons wasn't in the game. Why vacate the pocket as quickly as they did? It seemed almost by design, and then cut off 7/8 of the field on a pass play that you have to complete against a beat-up secondary. They didn't have all their guys on the field. The third down play, I thought that Jones made a play that Robinson should have caught. All right, you get stripped. You got to hold on to the ball in those spots. They're young receivers. They have to realize that guys are going to come pull the ball out. You saw Kelsey have a big one the other night, same thing, and got the ball taken out same way. They're going to try and take the ball out. We understand that. That's what you have to learn in this league. You got to protect the ball. When it's third down, when it's fourth down, you've got to protect the ball. What I don't like is this idea from the head coach of some kind of satisfaction from going 1-3. Oh, we were competitive. We didn't get, at least we didn't have, I almost was waiting for him to say, at least they didn't blow our doors off like they've been doing to us. They were 1-2. They were getting, and forget their score last week. Their score last week was so misleading. That game was over. That game was over early. They made that game look cosmetic. They never threatened to win it. And they ran for almost 300 yards, the Ravens. Now I understand they have Jackson, they have Henry. I know that. We all know that. But this team came in reeling against the run, and the Giants ran the ball 24 times for 26 yards and couldn't make a play when they had to make a play. And you can tell me the defense played well. It played well enough, but what it didn't do, okay? What it didn't do was it didn't make the play that was going to turn the game around. It didn't put enough pressure on Dak, and Dak got rid of the ball quickly. And on first down, let's be honest, how many times did he go to play action and then just hit a first down play? At one point, he was 15 for 15 for 150 something yards and 2 touchdowns on first down. They had a party on first down tonight. I mean, you had a Cowboy team that was reeling, that was 1-2, that was getting destroyed in Dallas, that at times tonight had Diggs out, Lawrence out, Parsons out, even the great Zach Martin out, is on the road off a short week, having to stop the bleeding, and they get a win. You know how big that win was for Dallas tonight? They play 4 of the next 5 on the road, counting tonight. And if they were 1-3, they were in enormous trouble. And they gutted out a win. Why? Because they understand something that the Giants don't. Take all their January miseries that they've had for the last 28 years, and especially recently, and discount all their regular season wins. But they understand how to win. And they sure as heck understand how to beat the Giants. They've beat them 14 of the last 15 times they've played them. And this is a division rival. You have to win division games. That's something that obviously hasn't dawned on the Giants. And now the Giants, when the smoke clears and you say all the things you're satisfied for, the Giants are 1-3, going to Seattle and playing an insanely desperate Cincinnati team in prime time. I don't know where they're headed. It doesn't look pretty. And frankly, I'm not impressed that they decided tonight, that they were going to stay in the game against the Cowboys. The Cowboys came in here in trouble. This was a night where they were beatable. And the Giants didn't do enough on defense to beat them. And I know they were banged up and they had to patch things up in the secondary. But the Giants are supposed to have a big time defensive front, and it has to be better than that. You need defenses not only to get off the field, you need defenses to turn the field upside down and to create scoring opportunities. They didn't do that. And when they had to make a play, they didn't make a play. And when the Giants had to make a play, they couldn't make a play. They couldn't get in the end zone. And then they couldn't complete a third down, and they couldn't complete a fourth down. And then they couldn't get the stop that they needed because they knew if they gave up one first down on the ground, the game was going to come down to a couple of seconds, probably down 8. Now, it turned out down 5 because he missed a field goal. The all-world kicker missed a field goal. He's human. But really, what chance did the Giants have at that point 28 seconds, needing a touchdown, no timeouts. Not happening. Did Jones make some good throws tonight? Underneath? Yes. Did he put the ball where he needed to? At times? Yes. Often? Yes. High percentage. Both guys did a lot underneath with their high percentage stuff tonight. All right. Jones was 29 for 40. Forget those last couple of incompletions. But why does he continue to be short on his long balls? And Dak was 22 of 27, and he was deadly on first down. A lot of it off play fakes, a lot of underneath stuff. Yes, get the ball to Lamb, who had a quiet second half. I think he had 85 yards at the half, or 85, yeah, something like that, and a touchdown, and he wound up with 98. So he didn't do much in the second half. He wasn't targeted that many times. But they were able to do enough to get out of here with a win, and that's what they had to do. They knew they had to stop the bleeding. They now get 11 days off to address things, and now they're 2-2. And it's a reverse 2-2, but it's still 2-2. They've won 2 road games and lost 2 home games, but the road wins can compensate. If you've won 3 out of 4, if you've won 2 games and you won 1 at home and you only won 1 on the road, it hurts to have lost 2 home games, but they already won 2 road games. So that's a little bit of compensation. And they're going to get stronger. They really don't have a back that would scare anybody. We know they have a wide receiver that can scare somebody. But they don't have as many weapons as they've had. But this isn't about them. And the Giants tonight wind up targeting the 2 receivers, in a crazy amount of times. I mean, 15 targets and 14 targets. 29 targets for Neighbors and Robinson. 11 catches for 71 yards means you are dinking and dunking. Now, they are dinking and dunking with him. They're not dinking and dunking with Neighbors. They are dinking and dunking with Robinson. But that's fine. That's his role. Get the ball on the move, try to break some plays, try to make try to make a guy miss. He's got to know where the sticks are. He's got to know where to sit down, where the sticks are. But they also, a lot of teams do this now. They get the ball to a guy a yard and a half short of the first down, knowing that if he's shifty and he can make one guy miss, he gets the first down or more. He didn't do that in that spot. But my problem is this was a winnable game. There are times where opportunities present themselves, and the Giants missed a colossal opportunity. So they shouldn't be as satisfied as I felt the head coach was at the end of the game. We were more competitive. You know what? We did some good things. We did this. We did that. Oh, yeah, this guy did this. And, the quarterback did this. And you scored 15 points. You couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And you couldn't make a play when you needed to. And you couldn't get a stop when you needed to. And that's what the league's about 9 days out of 10. Making a play when it's on the table, when the game's on the line. Make a play. Make a play on defense. Make a play on offense. That's how you win games. And I would remind this head coach who talks about a 1-3 competitive team when all we've seen is loss stack on top of loss, stack on top of loss, stack on top of loss, that any Giant fan worth his jersey knows what no medals for trying means. Okay? No one cares that you were competitive. Win the game. Win the game. You want to tell me you're playing a great team in a tough spot and you were an inch away or a play away? Fine. There's nights you can be proud of your team. This wasn't one of them. This was an opportunity lost. Now you're 1-3. You lost the game to Washington. That's going to come back and bite you because that quarterback looks like he's going to get better and better and better. Now, Cincinnati might have the worst defense I've seen in a while, but let's put that aside. That kid looks like he's going to be a handful. And that makes them more dangerous than anybody thought. And the Giants keep proving that they're not in Dallas's league year after year after year. And the Eagles are still the Eagles until further notice. They might not be a happy ship, but they're still able to win games. And the Giants are already 1-3 on their way to Seattle. And then home to Cincinnati. And if they don't get a big win somewhere in those 2 weeks, they are really looking at an uphill climb that will be impossible for this team. Hey, Neighbors is going to do some very good things. We know he's got ability. But it can't always be about next year. These are the Giants. It's not supposed to always be about next year. The Giants have turned themselves into a doormat franchise. And that's sad. When you are in any way content, when you score 15 points, don't get in the end zone, and just lose the game by 5 points, you know what? It scares me. And it infuriates me. How long do you think you get to try to rebuild or try to prove that you can win here? And where's the guy who did the things that people really started to fall in love with in year one? Where is that guy? Where is that leadership? Where is that feeling? Where is it gone? Can't find it now. Too many times they're accepting competitive play or mediocrity or less. You know what? That's why 4 weeks in, instead of being an improved 2-2 or a stunning, shocking 3-1, they're a highly predictable 1-3 and headed back into the abyss. Frankly, I would think as a Giant fan, you've had enough of it. More than enough. Football Friday for week 4, tomorrow, live at 10 o'clock. Congrats to the Yanks for finally beating Baltimore. Hey, it was a little anticlimactic when all they had to do in the last week is win a game. It took them 3 tries to win one. We'll get into their problems. We have time because they're obviously going to get a couple of days to sit and watch the proceedings. And who knows? Maybe the Mets are going to play again sometime this season. Boy, natural disasters are natural disasters. And I'm a sometimes Floridian. I own a home in Florida. I send my prayers and hopes tonight to the folks down there because that hurricane looks nasty, and I hope everyone comes out all right because we've seen some of those storms in the last couple of years do some damage down there in that state. So hopefully they get through this run. But hey, you can't do a lot about that. And remember, regular season, the home team has a lot of say. In the postseason, they have no say. Baseball runs everything. In the regular season, the home team has some say. And let's be honest, the fact that they had probably huge gates for the last two games of the Met series was a good reason why they didn't early on pack up and go to a neutral site. That's the business they're in. But it did take a lot of excitement out of this week and out of this run. And maybe it works out the right way for the Mets. We'll have to see. First, 3 games in Milwaukee before a possible Monday. A very odd Monday, but a possible Monday. In Atlanta. But football tomorrow, another disappointing night, and that's how I take it. This was a winnable game. I thought the Giants had a very good chance. I thought this would be a close game tonight. I thought the biggest edge that Dallas had was in the field goal kicker and in the fact that they just always win these confrontations. But I thought the Giants had a great chance to win tonight. They missed a big opportunity. They really did. We'll see you in the morning.